What's up, movie fans and Netflix bingers? This is the Bros Who Binge podcast. We just had our 100th episode last week. We're on to 101, Lyndon. New phase, kind of, to the Bros Who Binge. We're, still making some adjustments, but last week we came back to movies back in the theaters, and we finally saw the movie to go see in theaters this week, and we're going to talk about it, Tenet. We're going to talk about Tenet at the end of the show, but also we had one of your favorite shows, The Boys, come back. How are you feeling about this weekend?
Bro, I'm hype. I got one word for you. Your mission, if you choose to accept the word that can save you or hurt you, Tenet. Or I wish I knew exactly what they said. The crow cracks twice at midnight or whatever the fuck they were saying. There's like the little secret code. Super hype. Tenet. Oh man, I can't wait to gush over that movie. But to say that was my most anticipated movie going into the year. It did not let me down. My list of Robert Pattinson and John David Washington did not let me down. Like, I am hyped. Like, everything we have been talking about on this pod legit came true with Tenet. And then, on top of that, not even, like, Tenet is like layer one of the cake. Layer two of the cake is the fact that we got The Boys, which is fucking amazing. Our most anticipated show, at least mine. I think you would say Mandalorian might be yours, but but I know you love this show as well. But this was definitely my most anticipated show. Super hyped to talk about it. All I gotta say about that is Daddy's back, baby. Daddy's fucking back, and it's time to go. Yo, just Ryan. Oh, whoa, we're getting all of that and some more. Karen Fukuhara, Bae, killing it. Loved her this season. Look, man, I got so much I want to dive into. Took notes on everything, as well as Lovecraft Country coming through this week. Solid episode, and we're back with the Avatar rewatch, Book 3. We got a lot to get into with that, but this is a big week, man. Even watch Young Wallander. I definitely recommend it.
Okay, yeah. See, I never got to get to Young Wallander. I did say that I would recommend Ted Lasso for people. I've been getting into that. Movie on the Rise is a little bit short for me this week, but I'll be talking about some things that I think you should be checking out. But yeah, man, like, we don't have a lot of news to get into, but it is worth noting, prayers out to our boy Rob Pat and
The Rock.
people. And The Rock, and everyone that out there that's been trying to get us our movies back and filming, and got caught some COVID. So hopefully everyone ends up being okay.
Yeah, word on road is that both are like okay, not showing symptoms. They have like the not showing symptoms one or whatever. Word on road about Rob, but they said they're gonna be starting the Batman as soon as he's healthy. So.
I heard that they already just kept on filming. They're just like, we got other scenes we got to do without him.
I saw that too. I didn't want to report that because immediately after I saw that, they were like, no, don't worry. They shut down because of COVID, but I don't know if they did.
It's like,
I think they said that to save their ass, but like I feel like it's like what you said. We still, Catwoman, you got some scenes to film, girl. Riddler,
that's what I'm saying.
You got some scenes to film, partner. Look, Colin Farrell, you know all them prosthetics take forever to put on your ass. Let's get this shit done with.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Let's not waste too much time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go. First, with a little bit of Star Wars stuff, there's been like a lot of stuff from the actors. Kelly Marie Tran got herself a new role, and then Daisy Ridley came out a few weeks ago saying like, I'm not getting any roles, which is not true.
Yeah, it's not. Her movies just aren't out right now, so she hasn't gotten anything new. Like, she got a bunch of stuff after Star Wars. Those movies have not come out yet, like the Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley big movie, the Ridley Scott movie. Like, some of those things have not dropped yet. So I guarantee as long as those movies are good, she's gonna get fucking.
Well, and she just got cast as another thing where she is like part of a widow group that is trying to assassinate Hitler. Like,
now you see John Boyega on the other hand. I don't see no news for him.
And I was upset that everyone was like, "Oh, woe is me, poor Daisy," that she wasn't getting any roles. I'm like, girl's getting roles. But then John Boyega, on the other hand, dude has a lot of potential to be one of the next big things in Hollywood, and I haven't been hearing his name thrown around too much. And he was recently interviewed talking about his role in Star Wars, And I had to say that I didn't disagree with what he had to say.
I
He
mean,
said
that's what we've been saying from, like, not to cut you off, but we've literally been saying what he said since we saw since Last Jedi. Like, early in this pod, when Bros Who Binge didn't even exist, and we were talking movies on the BWT pod, and we brought you on to review Last Jedi, we even said then, like, damn, John Boyega got shafted.
He said, what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them be pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver and all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. You know, granted, those two had major roles, but like John Boyega deserved to have just as much of the nuance as they did, because he came out and, you know, we were kind of expecting a lot more out of his character based on what we saw in The Force Awakens, and then
was he not a marketing tool? Like,
that's a good point. I mean, I feel like in a way that he was used by Disney as a marketing tool to be like, hey, we got inclusion,
and to get the black people in. And let's keep it all the way up 100. That every time my dad talks about the new trilogy, he always says, the first thing he said was like, damn, they sold me to go watch this movie thinking that this black guy was going to be a Jedi. Then the black guy's not a Jedi. He doesn't get his love interest, who is the Jedi, and then all he gets is a suicide mission that the Asian girl gets him from, and then him and this black girl just go on this bullshit ass mission in the last one, and nothing. He does really nothing. So, like, my dad hates the new trilogy so much because of that, and that's why I say it's a marketing ploy. Like, whether or not, and we will never be able to prove this, but whether or not they did it intentionally with having John Boyega have the lightsaber and show it like that and put it in the promo to where they would get black people to think like, damn, maybe this trilogy has a little more inclusion. It's not just like Lando. Maybe we need to go watch this. I can't argue that, because that's what happened. Like, that is 1,000% what happened, whether they meant to do it intentionally or not.
Lando was a good example of a person of color that had some really good roles. But I would even go back to Solo and say that Donald Glover's Lando didn't really get enough to do for as important of a character he is now. Will he get more in the television realm? That's a different story. And I think that Star Wars television has done an incredible job with it. Pedro Pascal and Ming-Ning Carl Weathers, so like, they've been doing really well on television.
We're about to get Rosario Dawson. We're about
Rosario Dawson.
We're about to get so much.
We're gonna get Cassian Andor series. Yeah. But I mean, like, I just don't understand like why the new trilogy didn't do anything with that. And then moving into what might be to come, the names that are being thrown around, even in a director's standpoint, don't really like throw give me any different voices or get me any more excited. What, like Benioff and Weiss, or what kind of track record do they have, like, with?
And we're gonna get into some Benioff and Weiss shit later. That's just like,
exactly.
Yeah. No, look, man, Star Wars right now, the hype is in television. And granted, we got Taika Waititi writing a movie. I trust that. I like Kevin Feige's working on shit. I like that. And
we're seeing a lot of stuff coming out of that High Republic book series, and some concept art of that.
If you just look at those two creators, they're not gonna do that. Like, they are not gonna do what the new trilogy did, in the sense of market you to think something's one way just to get butts in a seat. They're gonna tell a story where all characters who are the main points get fleshed out, because that's what they've done with the MCU. That's what Jojo Rabbit, amazing fucking movie. Watched it, by the way. Like, that's what they do. Movie. Those dudes are creative directors and producers and talents, and they will not let the fans down like Kathleen Kennedy did. I'm not saying JJ, I'm saying Kathleen, because JJ kind of got the short end of the stick, because I think if JJ was able to do all three, I do believe Finn would have been a Jedi. I believe that with my heart and soul.
So mainly I'm just on the side of John Boyega here, is like, he should have made these statements because they're absolutely true.
Oh, yeah, Disney can't be mad at him. And look, John, brother, I know shit is tight right now because of Tenet. And let me say this. I know shit is tight, but come audition over at Warner Bros. For that man that lives out in space with the green ring. Come audition You're gonna be going up against my guy JDW. You might not get
Jonathan
it.
Majors.
JM, yeah, but I might have Boyega over here. Nah, I got Jonathan over Boyega, but still, you got up a go against those two brothers, and JDW stock is super high right now. You might not get it, but who knows? You may get Black Lightning. You may get something cool over in DC. You may get something.
Who's
cool.
gonna play Static Shock? I guess he might be a little too old
Yeah,
now.
they're gonna go teenage version with that, but
But
that's why I
Black
said.
Lightning would be pretty good.
That's why I said
what about
Black
Mr.
Lightning.
Terrific?
I wouldn't be mad at Mr. Terrific. One of those. Come to DC, brother.
I think he'd be a good Mr. Terrific if that was like one of the roles that they wanted to throw him into.
Shit, if they want to make him a villain, make him Bronze Tiger. I'd be down.
Why not?
since Idris Elba's not Bronze Tiger, might as well throw that out there and just showing love to Warner Brothers. They did say that everybody who saw Suicide Squad said this was James Gunn's masterpiece. So, gotta wait and see on that front. So yeah, man, John Boyega come to DC, but that's all I really got on that. But like I said, we've been agreeing with this dude since the jump. So good on him to tell his side of the story.
Well, going into, you mentioned DC and a comic book property. Another comic adaptation is coming from the guys who put together Project Power from Netflix, Henry Jost and Ari Schulman, who also did Catfish. They've signed on to direct the sci-fi action thriller Nemesis for Warner Brothers, based on a comic series by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven. The story follows an idealistic tech inventor whose world comes crashing down when he is framed for his wife's murder, and he discovers the deeply rooted power structure that courses through the most powerful country in the world. Amidst his anger and pain, he is recruited by a mass vigilante known as Nemesis, who is determined to take down the corrupt system that has burned him in the same way as it has the protagonist. Fans of the original comic will recall that the premise of Nemesis was about flipping the idea of Batman on its head, with a teaser image for the series posing the question, what if Batman was the Joker? The comic told the tale of a bored billionaire that used his money and resources not to stop and fight crime, but to cause and accelerate it with chaotic explosions, personal manipulation, and death. While the president did play a part in the original series, which is he's supposed to play a big part in this one, the above log line seems to be taking a different direction. So it doesn't seem to be the same concept of taking Batman and flipping it on his head, but I feel like it's going to have heavy influence.
Those elements. Yeah, look, man, that sounds hella dope. It sounds kind of like that Watchmen TV show a little bit to a certain extent, like exposing government corruption. Sounds a little bit about The Boys, like it just sounds a little bit a lot like these comics that we love. And look, Ari Schulman coming from Catfish to work with the director of fucking Project Power.
It's not Neve, but it's
It's the camera guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, him coming to work with Henry Jost to make this. Hopefully this is fire. Warner Brothers is doing it. Okay, cool. Let's see how.
Yeah, we both like Project Power. I thought it was a pretty, I wouldn't say the best film in the world, but it was not badly made.
No, it wasn't. And it's crazy. The writer of it is about to direct his own series with Matt Reeves. The guy Mattson Tomlin, who wrote the Batman, is about to do his directorial debut with Matt Reeves producing. They're doing like this android sci-fi thing. I know we don't have it in the notes, but it's just crazy that all these Project Power people are just getting work now.
That's what happens when you make one of the better Netflix films of the summer.
That is
but
true.
I'm really interested in this. I read this little synopsis, and Nemesis sounds like a really interesting character to bring into the forefront. Warner Brothers doing it. Maybe they're trying to extend their IPs beyond DC, and I think this might be something that could really turn some heads.
And hopefully it could find its way to HBO Max at some point as like a series if the movie's good enough. So this is good all the way around. Next up, we got Silk could be the next Marvel character to get her own TV series. Variety has learned from sources that Sony, which controls the rights to the Spider-Man universe, is developing a live-action series centered on Silk. Lauren Moon is in talks to write. Like Silk, Moon is a Korean American. Her past credits include the Freeform series Good Trouble and the Netflix series Atypical. Phil Lord and Chris Miller are executive producing Sony Pictures with Amy Pascal. Lord Miller is under Yeah, that's pretty much it. But sources say
Well,
Amazon is in talk to
yeah.
acquire the project along with other Marvel series based on that Sony controls. So Amazon's taking over the Sony TV department. Man, that's the only reason why this story's hot. Because if not, I'd have gave it 2 thumbs down. But because Amazon, who knows? Maybe this could shake out to be something. But
I
that
mean, Amazon. That sounds interesting. You know, Lord Miller had their hand into like the Sony verse of Spider-Man, and I feel like Sony, if they take the same beats that they've taken from like what they've done with Into the Spider-Verse and less of what they've done with like Venom, and moving it into an Amazon realm, who Amazon doesn't really want to do bad work. Lauren Moon, the 2 series that she's accredited on here, Atypical, doesn't necessarily like fit the same mold as what we're looking for here, but it's been a successful series.
it
And
has.
Good Trouble, I've actually heard, has been a pretty successful freeform series,
It
and
is.
not so like I feel like she's a good person to have on here with it, with Lord Miller attached. Silk has a very interesting ties to Spider-Man. She's kind of like his vice
Yeah, pretty much.
in
And
a
she
way.
she has a cool costume too. Look, this is it. This is interesting. If this works, and like Amazon is the TV hub of the Sony Spider-Verse and they can bring their like movie people in there, Marvel needs to be concerned just for the fact that how much longer is Tom Holland going to be apart from all of this that's going on over here at Sony? Because I know eventually they will want their Peter Parker to come in here. So like if I'm Marvel, I got my antennas up on all of this. But good for Silk fans out there, you
Well,
know.
I feel like with Silk being like really a more adult character in the Spider-Verse, are we gonna get like some serious adult tones to the Spider-Man universe? Like, eventually, if they were able to
Well, I
bring a
mean,
Peter
look at
Parker
Venom.
here.
Look at Venom. Look at Morbius. Think they're trying to do Craven the Hunter, Jessica Drew, Spider Woman. Like all of this makes sense for that tone you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, think what the boys are able to do on Amazon and put that into like a Spider-Man universe, like it could be pretty crazy. So when I heard that this news was coming out, and especially that I was going to be attached to Amazon, it got me really excited for everything that we've been seeing from Amazon recently. I mean, I was even watching like the little trailers to Hannah that they had before the episodes of the boys, and I'm like, that series looks pretty dope. So I'm
Yeah,
like, so I'm really excited to hear this news, and just I've been really been diving in on learning more about who Silk is, and like the more and more I learn about Silk, I'm like, oh, this could be like something we've never seen before in Spider-Man.
it's gonna be interesting to say the least. So I got my antennas up and I'm ready to see what they got. Next up, we got Benioff and Weiss. They're adapting this Chinese author Liu Xian's sci-fi trilogy. And if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm super sorry. The Three Body Problem for Netflix. Brad Pitt and Rosamund Pike and Ryan Johnson are also executive producing. Xian and Ken Liu, who wrote the English translations of the first and third books, are also serving as consultant producers. Liu Xian's trilogy is the most ambitious sci-fi fiction series we've read, taking readers on a journey from the 1960s until the end of time, from life on our pale blue dot to the distant fringes of the universe. We look forward to spending the next years of our lives bringing this for audiences around the world to see, said Benioff and Weiss. So they're
It has to do with like uh Earth's first encounters with aliens.
Yeah, and then expanding outward. So, look, they didn't get to do Star Wars. Maybe this is more up their boat. They got stuff that's already written out for them. So all they got to do is just follow it to the T. So maybe it'll
Like
be
Game of
good.
Thrones.
Maybe it'll be good if they follow this shit to the T and not have to go off on their own. Because we see when they have to go off on their own, that's why they have problems. Look at
Well,
Game of
and if
Thrones and Star Wars with no source material.
they stray too far, they got the authors there that are consulting producers. I actually trust Ryan Johnson in a lot of ways. As many of other
I
Star
trust
Wars
Brad
fans be like,
Pitt.
that's blaspheme, and I trust Brad Pitt as well. So like, if
Yeah.
these guys are gonna like attach their names to this, then I have to do.
Yeah,
So
look, Brad Pitt hasn't done anything wrong in a long time. If you look at his producing credits, he's been killing it. So, like you said, Ryan Johnson, I trust him to a certain extent, but Brad Pitt, he's not putting his name on trash. So, Benioff and Weiss, they'll be held together. Plus, that Netflix deal is huge. Netflix not about to let them put out some garbage. So we'll see what's up with that. But that's all
Facts.
I got on that.
So this was kind of an interesting story that came out this week. Over the past few years, Marisol Nichols has been juggling the demands of being an actor on Riverdale with a side gig as an undercover agent in a fight against sex trafficking. She revealed that for the past 6 years, she's been hunting child sex predators. She has been working undercover with agents from the FBI.
You talking about real life?
Yes, Operation Underground Railroad and local law enforcement to serve as the bait for sting operations and domestically and internationally. She has played a part in parent pimping out a child, or depending on what the situation calls for, the role of a child being pimped out to a guy who thinks he is about to have sex with a 12-year-old. Nichols has participated in numerous child sex stings around the world the last few years. Her story as a Hollywood vigilante is now being adapted for the small screen. Sony Pictures Television is in early stages of development to tell her story.
Oh, damn, I wish it wasn't Sony, but damn, that's a movie in waiting. What the hell? That's crazy.
Good on her for like not only
fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight out there, but doing it all while she's been acting on Riverdale. She's supposed to be in the new Saw adaptation Spiral. So I mean, she's been out here acting and also been helping the FBI for child sex trafficking stings.
And look, she may get the benefit from, not only is she helping people, that's the ultimate benefit of what she's doing and changing the world, but she'll be able to benefit financially, which is a plus. All those late nights of just stress that woman probably went through for these past couple of years on all fronts, as a child posing, as a parent, all that undercover shit, and now she get to make a little money off of it. Let's go, girl. I'm with it.
I think it's a really interesting story.
It's great.
I want to see how this all plays out.
And, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see more as this gets developed on how they're going to do this. They're expecting to see her, of course, executive produce, but likely also star in the story.
Interesting. Now, see, I don't know if I want her to star, but
I don't know about that either. But also, she might not star as herself.
Yeah, she could
star as someone in the FBI or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Let's make this a good series, baby girl, and let's get you some fatty. Your story's too good. Let's get Amy Adams to play you or some shit. Let's make it litty.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really crazy story. Let's see this happen, and good on her for being in this FBI sting, because we've seen a lot of child traffickers go down here recently. So that's
Big
great.
Facts. Ghislaine's still alive, so that shit's happening. But word, I'm down to see this.
All right, but the next story I have is, shout out to our boy from The Boys, Jack Quaid. He's going to get cast in Scream 5. So Jack Quaid getting some more bag.
Hopefully his career takes off, because I like him as an actor. He didn't make our list, but Jack Quaid could be one of those dudes who can do action, can do comedy. I could see Jack Quaid having a pretty nice career in Hollywood. So good for him getting Scream 5. Another guy that we like, Alan Ritchson, you may know him as from Blue Mountain State, or more recently, Titans as Hawk, has been cast in Amazon's rendition of Jack Reacher. Yes, the Tom Cruise series Jack Reacher is getting a television show. They're going to base it more on the Lee Child's best-selling book, and more so than the movies. And Richardson will take on the role from Tom Cruise. The thing is, however, unlike Tom Cruise, Richmond is 6'2", which is a lot closer to Reacher's description of 6'5", and he's more imposing. But this lets people know it might not be too much more Alan Ritchson on Titans, especially seeing where Titans is going to Gotham, and then seeing how we're going to get Red Hood, Barbara Gordon, a lot of new characters. Hawk and Dove probably getting written out. It's probably about to be the Bat Kids and their homies doing shit in Gotham. That's what Titans seems like to me.
A little side conversation on what's going on here with, in regards to Titans. I've seen a lot of people give some backlash to it, being like, this seems like it's becoming a Batverse show. And I mean, maybe it is.
It seems that way.
I feel like that has more to do with what this season entails. Because like last season, I don't really feel like it had too much to do with Batverse. Like, you know, he had Deathstroke, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily. I mean,
That's a Titans
Deathstroke
villain.
is the Titans villain.
Yeah.
So like, and before that, it had to do with Raven. So like,
yeah.
this is more of the Bat story, and then maybe and even the Starfire story. So I don't know like why they're getting too critical on that, but I could see
we gotta see what's up with Beast Boy, man, and Superboy. Like they need to, if they really want it. But see, I think it's gonna determine on how well this season is, where we get 2 shows out of Titans. We get a Young Justice live action, which is Beast Boy, Superboy, Raven, whoever else they want to throw in there, and then we get like the Nightwing show, which is like all the Bat Family people in Nightwing doing his thug thizzle. You could even throw Tim Drake in this Young Justice
I was thinking
show.
the Young Justice show, because you would need a Robin. I feel like you would throw in a Tim Drake.
Yeah, throw in a Tim Drake in there, but like the writing is on the wall for Hawk and Dove, and good on Alan Richardson to cash out on his stock while it's high, because he did an incredible job. Like, if you go back to first season of Titans, arguably the best one. Arguably,
yeah.
Him or Brendan Thwaites is Nightwing and you got Corey in a close like third. Like,
You know,
I mean,
I think he did well as Hawk, and you know, a lot of people know him iconically as his character in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
But this is a good opportunity for him to really kind of step into a role of his own and really kind of like establish himself as a more serious action actor. What we've seen from Amazon with Jack Ryan, you're kind of getting the same kind of show with Jack Reacher,
but more actiony though. That's the thing. Jack Ryan's an analyst. This dude's like CIA, gonna be fighting, cracking necks, shooting guns, doing his thing. So we're gonna see. But good for Alan Richardson. But that's all the news we have this week. Let's get into the movie on the rise. Schubert, what are you suggesting out there for the peeps to check out?
I think that, you know, there's some stuff on Netflix that we've talked about before that I think is worth going into. You know, Cobra Kai now is on Netflix now. It's something I'm really looking forward to getting into. And then, of course, something that Lyndon's mentioned numerous times on the show, Promised Neverland, is on sub and dubbed on Netflix. Make sure you get it. You watch that season before it gets on to Amazon as a live action, because it's worth it.
Yeah, no, good show. Forgot that's on Netflix now. I'm gonna suggest something in the YouTube department. If you are a fan of Batman the Animated Series, Warner Brothers Pictures has put on a documentary about the entire Batman the Animated Series. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. If you love that series, it is very, very worthwhile watching. I started it like last night. I'm like 40 minutes in. I'm gonna finish it up tonight, but it is so good. You get to learn the backstories between everybody, how the show came together and everything, and being a big fan of Batman the Animated Series. And there's nothing really else new this week. Everything else dropped last week. I was like, let me show some love to that little documentary on YouTube. So just type in Batman the Animated Series on YouTube documentary, and you'll find it. It's by Warner Brothers Pictures. It's official. So don't go click on someone's fan-made doc. Like, I'm sure those are out there as well, but I'm talking about the official one. But other than that, that's all I really got. No new animes, really anything. Like, nothing's really popping out right now. Everything popped off last week.
Now, I am kind of mad at the movie studios, because you guys know you have those movies in the can, and people are going to theater, so let's spit them things out.
Well, Dune's gonna be here
in December. Like, come on, you know, we got Wonder Woman we got to watch. Like, come on. Time is running out.
Black Widow, yeah. But I think everybody's trying to see how well Tenet does in its run, which people are predicting is going to make $500 million.
I mean, shoot, people went out to go see New Mutants. Like, people are going to go out and see New Mutants. And
yeah. Also, let me say this: Wednesday, we're going to get the Dune trailer. Hopefully.
Yeah, you saw it in the
previews. I missed it. But they said we're going to see the full one. Like, the teaser was just some shot. Like, the full one I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we'll get that Wednesday. But let's get into the reviews. It's time for the reviews. Schubert, where are we going first? Are we doing Avatar first to knock that out?
First. Yeah.
All right. The crazy thing is, 2 of those episodes are filler.
Which ones do you consider filler?
All right.
The Painted Lady, I think for sure we can agree is filler.
Filler. The one before that, too.
I actually really like that episode.
The Kuzan episode?
I actually really enjoy that episode. I think it's
It's
It,
filler
it,
though.
Now, is it super important to the story? Maybe
No.
not, but it does make a lot of sense for like Aang as an avatar trying to instill at least some bits of freedom into the Fire Nation that doesn't necessarily. It's almost like he's laying in the groundwork for like what the Fire Nation should be post him
Yeah.
saving them. So like I feel like in that
And
way
it
it's
lets
sort
him
of
learn
important.
that all fire. It also, this episode is important for the
Humanizes the Fire Nation.
Yeah, it's important for the decision that he'll make later on not to kill Ozai instead of taking his benders, because through what he learns through Roku's story with Sozin and through his connection with Zuko and through moments like these shows that not all Fire Nation people are evil, quote unquote. There's gray area in there. That's why it's important. But other than that, that shit is filler. And the Painted Lady, that's just Katara healing niggas. So that's all that is. We don't have to talk about those two. However, the Awakening, we see Zuko and Aang's positions flip. From season 1 to 2, book 1 to 2, Aang is the hero. Everywhere he's regarded, it's the Avatar. All hail the Avatar. Zuko is the outcast running from his father to regain his honor. Aang even says it. I'm not doing this because I failed. I'm doing this because I'm embarrassed and I need to regain my honor. He then meets the moon spirit who tells him, bro, you're fucking up. Roku's telling him you're fucking up. You didn't fail. You can still do this. He windsurfs, he water surfs, windsurfs, whatever, gets the hell out of there. Zuko, on the other hand, is like coming back as a hero, but a faux hero because his sister knows she didn't kill the Avatar, at least feels she didn't. And she doesn't want to take credit for that if she fails. She wants to put that on Zuko, but Zuko's accepted back. And this is a plan to where if the Avatar works out, cool, Zuko's back. I can turn on him later. If it doesn't, then cool, Zuko is fucked up anyway. I can still take over. And we see Mark Hamill's Fire Lord Ozai face to face for the first time in this episode with him and Zuko's conversation. But that's pretty much all that happens in the Awakening. Oh, also
Sure.
Katara has a moment with her father where she's like, "Why'd you leave me, Dad? Why'd you leave us?"
And we find that Katara used that water, special water, to
there's
save
no more
Aang.
there's no more
So there's no more
water.
special water.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will add that kind of mixes in with Zuko's story from the Awakening and also into the headband, which is why I also feel like the headband is a little bit important, is that Zuko goes to meet his uncle in the prison, and we start to see that he's like, you know, as much as he's come into this new life in the Fire Nation,
Can't
he
let it
needs
go.
his uncle.
Yeah.
And his uncle is an important figure in his life in order to someone that he can actually trust and talk to, because he doesn't trust anyone that he's with now. He has all this power, but he doesn't trust his father. He doesn't trust his sister. He may trust May a little bit, but even
that's
then,
just because his girl.
that's because it's his girl.
Yeah, he
but
won't
like,
tell her like anything like crazy.
but like his, you know, losing his connection to Uncle Iroh, and you even see Uncle Iroh's reactions to it as well. You know, he's having to shun Zuko because in a way he's trying to make this another
tough
lesson
love.
for him.
Like, bro, you gotta like, I love you, Zuko, but you didn't follow the way. You didn't do what was right. So I'm not gonna give in to you and let you have your cake and eat it too. You need to go. This is your choice. Live with it, partner. Not, and then we could change something if you want to change something. But for right now, you gotta live in this mess. Like we said about headband, we already talked about the importance of that. Painted Lady, there's no importance of, zero. It's literally just Katara healing people, thinking she's special. And then, but number 4, Sokka's master. Sokka feels he's not contributing enough to the group. He needs a new weapon. He meets a mysterious master who then trains him, gives him a black obsidian sword. We then find that the master is a member of the White Lotus. Yes, now we have been foreshadowed in book 1. Boomy White Lotus. What's Jade? Jaco,
Yeah.
or what's his name? Jakku, or what? The Fire Nation bender from 1.
Yeah,
whatever his name, but Jong. Oh, it's Jong. No, not Jiraiya. Jiraiya's not Naruto. Jong's ass. White Lotus. At the end of season 1, we meet Paku, who is the waterbender, White Lotus, and Uncle Iroh, White Lotus. This is the gang of all these old people who believe a way of life that transcend nations, and we even see that's expressed by the fact that on his door, the Fire Nation symbol's in the middle, but around it is the White Lotus, signifying that, yes, I'm Fire Nation, but my White Lotus in gold determines my outcome, determines like my loyalties more so than the Fire Nation. I just thought that was cool, and Sokka gets a new sword.
Going back to Uncle Iroh's journey
And
in this
he's
book as
working
well.
out too
He's
in
working out
4.
in
Yeah,
the
he's getting
prison.
buff.
You see that he's, he may act like he's in prison, but he has a plan. So
Yeah,
we know that
Iroh's
that's
buff
what's
out
coming
here in
up.
these streets.
And that's
I was getting that jail workout going on.
And that's really all that comes in these first 4 episodes. I think at some point we're going to need to do 5 episodes. That might be coming in the next few weeks because we're, just on how this measures out. But
some other stuff. The world thinks Aang is dead.
yeah, World Thing Sang is
Also,
dead, which
their
is
plan is now not to include the Earth Kingdom because Ba Sing Se fell. They're gonna do a ragtag group of all their allies to fight on Invasion Day, and we're gonna have to see if that works out. But Aang still has to learn firebending. Also, Zuko hires an assassin to come after the gang. We've come to know his name as Sparky Boom Man later down the line. But don't let that name fool you. This is one of the strongest people in the show.
Exactly. Yeah, he's scary. He's imposing.
Yeah, so that's our Avatar rewatch. We've started again. We're in book 3. All right, where are we going from here? Because
Lovecraft.
All right. Ooh, all right. Perfect. Good call. And that's not saying Lovecraft was bad because it was great this week. I would say that this week wasn't a Journey. This wasn't Journey Smollett Bell dominating the screen this week. I'd say this week was more so.
She had some good moments.
She had some good moments, and I don't even think this was Jonathan Majors this week. I don't think Jonathan Majors has had a week yet. I think this was Michael K. Williams this week. I think this was Michael K. Williams this week, Jonathan Majors' father, where we see his ties with the Book of Adam. He had one. He destroyed it. Tick's not his son, or Tick may be for his brother. Like, I don't know who Tick is for, but Tick may be for his brother, or Tick may be for like some white guy. Who knows? Like, I don't know who Tick is for. Because if Montrose has the blood, and his brother should have had the blood too, but they were trying to treat it like his brother didn't. And if his brother's Tick's dad, then his brother had the blood too. So
no, I mean Tick got the blood from his mom.
Oh, Tick got it from his mom.
Yeah, but we don't know who his dad is for real because
okay, I was confused. Good thing we're here doing this together because I was like, what if Montrose?
Yeah, the mom's the descendant.
Yeah, if Montrose is doing all this Book of Adam shit and Tick's not his son, okay, makes sense. Okay, so boom, Montrose destroys the book. Tick's not his son, but he's freaking out about that. He's drinking, having a rough time. We see Montrose's brother and his wife is still just being nosy. Like she just can't let it go. She's gonna die, bro. She's gonna die. Like
some things before we get to let's say, before we get to the car and them leaving, white lady comes up to the porch. She can't get into the house, which is notable.
Yeah, because they said due to that stuff. Yeah,
due to the voodoo.
Crazy white lady,
which is crazy. So she can't come in. Letty pretty much figures out that. She's she's here, and she goes to Tick in the library, and Tick's like, I gotta figure out what's going on here. Like,
I gotta try to save you.
You gotta try and save all of y'all and we gotta try and get these scrolls or the information that Hiram had,
so we can read,
so we can try and
cast spells,
learn spells, spells and stuff like that.
So we can cast spells, so we can save our people, so we can defend ourselves. That's their reasoning.
Side note to Letty's sister, she tries to go to that department store to get a job. She
will die too.
So, but she has more to do a little bit later on.
She's gonna, bro. Wait. Can we get her out the way? Are we sure? I'm asking you, if you are with a young lady and you get this young lady halfway naked and you see on this young lady's chest that there is a circle in demon horns branded into this young woman's chest, are you continuing said adventure with young woman?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about when
Letty was getting with that white guy from the bar, and they're getting undressed, about to have their sex scene. I mean, not Letty's sister, about to have their sex scene, and we see on this dude's chest. Yes, he has it.
You're making it sound like she had it, and I was like, no, dude had this.
I'm just saying, if you were her, and I just used it to where.
Oh, well, she was drunk.
She was clowning. You should have got out of there. And then we're gonna act like we're not in the 60s. Like, are we sure? A black woman would have got with that white guy, being all sketchy in a black person bar. But she was desperate.
He had been there before.
True.
Because he got, Tick's dad.
And she was desperate because she didn't get her job.
That's why I mentioned the job.
Yeah.
She was but it did sound like in the conversation that it's not the first time that, a white guy's come up to try and
get with her and change her life.
Just for the in that time I could see it for the novelty or whatever. So like it wasn't something that was completely out of the question.
True.
So like I could see where like that was
the demon horn thing, that's what gets me. It's like, girl, you should have got out of there. But
I'm interested to see what comes to more with that, because obviously she's gonna.
All right, I guess we'll talk about this. No, we won't talk about it right now, just because in the preview we'll get to Tick's story and what happened with him, Letty, in a little bit, because that's the main chunk. But just to cap off Letty's sister, in the preview they show her and they go capture that woman from the store, but then we see a white lady in an outfit. Now I got two theories. Does Letty's sister take over that black girl's body who's working at the store, thus getting her the store job? Or does Letty's sister take over that white lady's body so she can go to them parties but still bang the white dude and he won't have no issues? That lady's taking somebody's body. They doing some sort of body switching. But that's all I got to say on that, because that's her story pretty much ends with her having sex with white lady's brother or white lady's cousin, whoever that guy is, looking like one of the T1, looking like a T-1000 with his all blonde hair, looking like a fucking Terminator. Like, fuck that guy. But all right, let's get to Tick Montrose and Letty. So
the one other thing I want to say to that too is like, white lady, whatever, Christine Braithwaite, I think her name is.
Christina Braithwaite.
And so she goes to meet up with the sheriff, and we find out that
they got some other. There's lodges.
There's other different sections of this whole thing. So there's more to find out with that. We learn a little bit that from Michael K. Williams too. That there's 34.
There's 34 lodges. It's like they're like the Klan.
Yeah, pretty much like they're the Klan, but also that she is still on her own different kind of come up because she's a woman.
Yeah,
so she's
women aren't allowed in. Yeah.
So she's doing her own sort of thing. And
the only reason why she's powerful is because she's from the startup family, but she really has no say in all of this.
So she's trying to make her way on her own in an or sort of way. So that's why I feel like she had that conversation with Letty and all of them. Exactly.
But that's why she had that conversation with Letty. She was like, don't let these men just dictate what you want to do. Like, we need to make our own claim. Which I mean, she's right. But so all right, so let's get to Tick, Letty, and Montrose, unless you have anything else on just
the solar system that they took out of the house. That's gonna have something to do more later, and I feel like that's why Hippolyta is all wrapped up in wanting to get answers, and she's gonna die. So she
is going to die, bro.
So after Tick and Letty,
she just live her life. But we'll talk about her in a sec. She just needs to live her fucking life. She goes with them to Boston. Like, why?
Exactly. Dumb.
Why? And then also they take that dude who said he lied about banging Letty in high school. Like, that dude was just there for some comic relief. But and
also to drop the Michael K. Williams or Montrose's gay bomb.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we got into that bar or whatever, and they're sitting in the bar talking about the stuff that he knows, and
he may be bi, but he definitely likes men as well as women. Yeah, I think he's
when that scene was happening and they were sitting there, I was like, you know what? I feel like they didn't I feel like they didn't show us that the bartender was gay for no reason.
Yeah,
true. You know what I'm saying? That was when it started to hit me. I was like, oh, I feel like there might be something going on here. And then they try and give it to the illusion that maybe he gave that security guard a blowjob.
Yeah, they did.
In the museum.
Yeah, so, or they had relations in the past because they're friends. But yeah, so Montrose gets him in to the museum. They're looking for the cave of I guess Titus Braithwaite. Yeah, to go and find out. Luckily, it's the same cave that is at the bottom of their house in Chicago. So this cave goes from Boston to fucking Chicago. Which was crazy. And
it's not something.
And how did they get to that? Are we sure they would have got to that elevator that fast?
Oh, well, there's a lot of are we sure's with all that. Like,
Yeah.
are we sure they could breathe underwater for that long? For
Yeah.
one, especially when struggling.
From
Um,
Chicago to, to Boston, there's this whole underground tunnel shit, and they get to Chicago like that. like that. But anyway, this is the most
that's
Indiana.
magic, bro.
Yeah, true. You just throw it up to magic. But this is, to me, this is the one J.J. Abrams had the most work on. This is the most one like a Spielberg Indiana Jones movie.
You get a little Raiders of the Lost Ark, Moonlight hitting Moonlight, showing you
Yeah.
where the key is.
Yep, they gotta like go through, put their hand in, the blood takes it, it goes up through the railing, and then drops down a thing. And they find the tomb of Titus. They go through all the booby traps, which is the one when they were walking on that plank. Are we sure they would have made it over that? They would have jumped on that plank and Letty wasn't dead. Like when Michael K. Williams jumps to the plank, you think he made it on that plank fully square? Are we sure?
No, I don't know about all that.
And when Letty crossed that blade, are we sure she didn't get sliced? Like, there's so many are we sure's with this episode, but we just let it slide.
But yeah, so like that whole deal with them going through the cave, it felt very Indiana Jones, felt very Goonies with the booby trap stuff, and like them having to like punch in the right code and all that.
And then they get to the ship or the hub of Titus Braithwaite, and we see all these skeletons. All these
also
different
felt like a
bones.
scene from Goonies with
and
felt like
Raiders.
the ending scene in Goonies. Yeah,
like
and
the zombies
that was
pop
crazy.
Up. Like no, it felt like Raiders too. Like 1000. They walk
and one
in,
thing I was thinking about is that you walk in, you see all these bones of like Native American tribe almost looks like, and I remember going into like the museum scene and the tour guy is like, yeah, Titus Braithwaite when he came to America, he showed all the Native Americans about technology and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, he showed them technology to their deaths,
enslaved them, that fucker. So we then get to this lady who's holding this scroll, the words of Adam. And they go to grab it. Tick goes to grab it. This lady comes back to life, but it's not just a lady. It's a lady and a man all in one body. It's two spirits in one. We even see its cock and balls. They show everything. And fucking, so they're talking to, this lady's talking this own language only Tick can understand, and they're having a conversation. Titus brought her over and then was like, yeah, you got to work for me. She's like, I want my family. He killed all her family, brought them in. He turned her into a siren to where if she escapes the tomb, she can't speak, but she agrees to go with them to try to help them
transcribe
the scrolls in the book of Adam. They then escape. They get to that elevator under Letty's house. Meanwhile, all those white dudes who died are somewhere floating in the cave. They're done for, so we don't have to worry about that. That to me, that was like answers our are we sure of last week. Like, are we sure they would have got away with it? Oh yeah, they got away with it. It's over. It doesn't fucking matter. Those people are long gone. And then
in Boston.
That's the lady goes back to the house with them. She's chilling. Montrose goes check on her after Tick's like, yeah, we'll teach her English. She's willing to help. Like, we're gonna get this done. Montrose takes a blade to her, slices her throat, kills her, and the episode ends. What an ending! I was like,
whoa.
Montrose, Michael K. Williams clowning.
I'm so confused about like where he stands in all this, because like we said, I don't feel like he's Tick's dad.
I feel like he has hatred in his heart for Tick because of that.
I feel like he does too. Like, I feel like that's why I didn't want to tell him the information.
Like, he loves him, but at the same time, he doesn't. Like, I feel like he hates him. Like,
or just like, or resents the whole fact that he has to like deal with him in his life, or like,
yeah, like that,
or something like that.
That he's his burden when he's not really even his son. Like some shit like that. Yeah, it's some weird shit going on with Michael K. Williams that got to get explained, but.
And the other ending thing, like we said earlier on, and like Hippolyta turning around, going over to Devon County, and her taking her daughter.
Her daughter, bro. Literally on the map, there's a fucking
Grim Reaper
on the map, and it says, "Do not go here." Yet you're gonna take your daughter there to get answers about your husband when he's dead, bitch. You is out, you're gonna die. You're going to die. She's an idiot. That's another are we sure? Are you sure you would do that? Because I would not. I would just be like, damn, my wife is dead. Gotta move on with my life. I wouldn't even fuck with Tick and them anymore. I'd be like, no, nigga, y'all can't take my fucking car. I'm not fucking with y'all. Like, I might move to California. Like, fuck them. Like, I'm not dealing with that shit. But she's still dealing with it, so we're gonna have
But
to
it
see.
also goes to like what she's been exploring with that solar system thing that Christina Braithwaite's been after. What does that have to do with everything?
Wait till she
I feel
finds
like,
out who got it. Bitch
you
is
know,
dead.
when we see them in the museum, there's a whole scene about her naming a comet. She knows a lot about astronomy, so like I feel like she's gonna have some sort of knowledge base to answering some question later on. But we'll
She gonna
figure out
answer
what that
one
is later
thing and then she's
and then
dead.
die.
Yeah, that's she got death flags written all around her. So we'll see
See,
what's happening.
when they brought Tree along on the ride, I thought he was gonna like be
Oh,
a
he
part of
gonna
it and
die
then
too.
die. I was like,
He might die next episode. You gotta
when
bring him in
when he
to
got into the car, I was like, oh, this dude's fodder. Like
yeah,
he's dying.
he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die probably within 2 episodes. I got Hippolyta dying definitely by season finale. And depending on Letty's sister, if she gets transformed into a white woman or a black woman, depends on where she going for the rest of this season. But she might die too. Although I feel like that white guy has an infatuation, whether or not it's a sacrifice or what, we're gonna find out with all that. But that's all that's going on with Lovecraft. Where we going? We're going to the boys or we're going to Tenet? Where we going?
We're going to the boys.
Right.
So that was the 4th episode of Lovecraft. We got 6 more.
Bet. All right, let's get to the boys. All right, before we break down each episode, the boys ended with, see, I didn't remember that Huey and Frenchie and Mother's Milk got, and the woman, because that's Karen, I'm going to just call her Karen Fukuhara. Oh, no, Kimiko. And Kimiko. got stranded, left for dead by the butcher, and they had to escape, and they had beef with the butcher because the butcher left them. Forgot all about that. Also forgot that whatchamacall, the stuff with A-Train. Forgot that A-Train killed Popclaw. Then he got his ass whooped, but fucking Starlight and what's our guy's name? Huey saved him, although Starlight did beat his ass too. So at the same time, they saved him, but they beat his ass. And he was in the ICU. So that's what happened last season. Also, the butcher sees that Homelander and his wife have a kid. And the butcher, that's pretty much
and Homelander killed Homegirl.
Oh, yeah, the director of Vought.
The director of Vought, and blamed it on the butcher.
Blamed it on the butcher. Also, Compound V, people are starting to know about it. Yeah, create superheroes. So that's pretty much where we left off. So episode 1, they started working for the military, Vought, because that's what Homelander wanted. Homelander is seemingly at first running things without Giancarlo, but Giancarlo comes in very soon to
put him in his place.
Be
like, I'm running this. I'm not afraid of you.
Pretty much. The boys are wanted. Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie and Kimiko are living out of Frenchie's gang's little hub under a comic book shop. Huey and Starlight are still trying to get proof of Vaught's evilness. And when they were in the subway, man, I was just like, damn, Huey, you still love her, but this girl don't have no love for you in her heart. She is through with your ass because you trust him. She's hanging out with Alden Ehrenreich. Like, out of all the people to pick, she chose him. Like, Jesus, Huey.
I was like, you go solo.
I knew you would have appreciated that. And then also, I was it a shot at Ansel Elgort? Like, I feel like they threw I feel like they threw a little shot at him, but rightfully so. Also, Huey's the only one that has the mission right now, man. Mother's Milk is fed up with all this shit. Frenchie don't give a fuck, and Huey's the only one still chasing that mission. And the Huey and Starlight are both depressed because Huey only has the mission. He doesn't have his wife. He doesn't have Robin. He doesn't have his father. All he has is this mission that the butcher gave him. And Starlight, the life she thought she wanted, is a complete lie. She's doing everything that she hated. She's wearing the costume she hated. She's doing all this press and working for Vought, and it's not what she thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Also,
the Deep, he is having his own sort of issues over in Sandusky. He gets approached by the Eagle and this church organization that's trying to get him almost rehabbed back into being a superhero for the Seven.
Yep, true.
But they have their, I think they have their own insidious thing going on.
Yeah,
and
that
later
might
on we kind of get a little bit of a hint at that.
That might be a season 3 type deal. Yeah, I wrote down the Deep chilling with Eagle the Archer. just chilling, just chilling with the Eagle the Archer. Also, the Stormfront intro scene, hilarious. The IG live where she's like, "Oh, all this shit is fake. This guy, you saw him in another commercial." It's just like, all right, they're letting the foundation that this bitch does what she wants, and I'm saying bitch because she's a bad bitch. She does what she wants, and we find out later
More
how
about that in
bad
episode 2.
Starfront is. But that's just the intro. It's like, oh damn, this lady's crazy. So they get information of a terrorist coming into New Jersey. The boys do, minus Butcher. Butcher's not there yet. They call Butcher's CIA lady contact. They give her the stuff. The CIA lady's like, oh shit, this matches with this. This matches with this. Oh no, I put together the puzzle. It's bow, head explodes. Boom, right as she's about to tell the boys what's going on, head explodes. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Let's dip. And Mother's Milk's like, if it was intended for us, they'd have killed us by now. So it wasn't intended for us. And Frenchie had throughout the whole episode is like, should we call Monsieur Charcuterie or should we just call the Butcher? And every time they're like, no. And at this point, Frenchie couldn't take it anymore. But give me a sec before we get to that. Giancarlo Stanton in Homelander's conversation in episode 1 where he puts him in his place. Bad ass. Giancarlo's like, bruh, I don't give a fuck what you think this is. We are a pharmaceutical company that's hiding our pharmaceutical, a.k.a. Compound V. You are just a distraction.
Yeah.
You're just a distraction and a way for us to make a little bit of money. But you're not even our main income, partner. We could do without you. So never forget that you are a luxury and the icing on the cake of this company. You aren't the main meat and butter. So I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm running this, and you could just go sit your ass down.
A few things we haven't mentioned yet. Black Noir opened up early in that episode, kicking some ass.
Turns out he's a Deadpool and Batman combo because he has regeneration. He's Deadpool. Yes. He's Deadpool who doesn't talk.
And I'm glad you mentioned regeneration because we are introduced to Gecko in this first episode, and he is pretty much doing like the S&M.
Yeah, he's
like,
basically
people chop off his limbs or his dick or whatever, and he regenerates it. But he's working in like the shallows of Vought as like a test subject, and Starlight goes to him to blackmail him essentially into getting Compound V for her.
Yep,
which is important.
Also, they mentioned in Giancarlo Esposito's conversation with Homelander, and they discuss the creator of Vought being a former Nazi and creating Compound V, and then America gets Compound V and gives it to Soldier Boy, who is quote-unquote the first hero, a.k.a. the Captain America ripoff. Let me say this. It has been announced, just keep on the lookout for this season of all mentions of Soldier Boy, because it has been announced that Jensen Ackles from Supernatural is coming in next season as Soldier Boy.
And they're also mentioned, and this was in episode 3, I think, but it's really brief, so it's like not. We can just mention it right now. But the CIA lady mentions Liberty as an older superhero. I feel like that may have something to do with the Soldier Boy
and Jensen Ackles. Yeah, so Jensen Ackles will be in season 3. Just look for all mentions of Soldier Boy. But the episode 1 ends with the iconic line, "Daddy's home, bitches. I'm back." Billy Butcher is back with the boys, and Huey's pissed. You ain't doing too good with Billy. Billy not doing too good with Huey, but everybody else is happy that Billy's here, except Kimiko. Kimiko's like, fuck you, Butcher. I don't fuck with you. So that's the end of episode 1. Not much fighting, but not a lot of gore. Well, the woman's head exploded.
Oh, and also Homelander, smacking that blind dude's ears or whatever.
Oh yeah, but I thought that was episode 2.
No, that was right off the bat because that was before he met up with Giancarlo Esposito because the lady comes in and is like, this is gonna be the new member of the 7, and he's like, bitch, you don't tell me who's gonna be in the 7.
I run. Yo.
I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah, because that was when Homelander still thought he was running shit. He tells the lady who was the assistant of Madeline last season, like, yeah, you're in charge, bitch, but I run this. You let me know what's going on in them upper floors, and you're my mole, ho. I can get your ass fired.
I can kill you.
She brings in this Daredevil ripoff, and Homelander's like, bro, you're strong, brother. You got good powers. But what happens if I take out your fucking hearing? You turn into a cripple again. Yo!
I don't want to cripple in 7 or whatever. I'm like, yeah.
What a scene! What a fucking scene! But that's why Giancarlo Esposito brings in Stormfront, and that's why they have that conversation later on. That's a good point. We did have to touch on that. But that's pretty much all that happens in episode 1. Super solid episode to get us back into it. A lot of stuff foundation-wise. Huey and Starlight's mission to stop with Compound V. The tension between Homelander and Giancarlo Esposito. The tension between the boys and Billy Butcher. And that's all the stuff that, and the CIA. What does it have to do with the terrorists? And what does that have to do with why the terrorists are coming to America? And what does that have to do with the CIA ladies' mission peace? We also got to say that Compound V has been put out throughout the world by Homelander so he could get the military contracts. He brought Compound V to all different
villains.
Yeah, he basically created super terrorists or super villains, as he keeps wanting to say. And that's what Giancarlo Esposito fussed at him for as well. So that all happened in episode 1. So we're going to figure out all of this later. But episode 2 starts, Huey confronts the Butcher. Huey's just like, bro, fuck you, Billy Butcher. Fuck you. You left us to die. But we find out what happened to Butcher, and we find out all that went down with him, how he woke up one day in some random
Indiana,
some random place, went to the lunch to go write down his shit, and then we find out that the lady was seeing the board, seeing the screen. Oh, damn, you're wanted. All the boys are wanted. Of course we knew that, but we find out Butcher doesn't know really what happened to him, and he wrote down where his wife is.
Because he's going to try and find his wife, which we'll get to more of that in episode 3.
Speaking of his wife, Homelander starts chilling with his son. He starts chilling with his son, and shit is getting weird.
For in this initial stage of episode 2, I'm thinking Homelander's like, oh, you're just like me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, is he though? Like,
yeah.
What's the deal with that? Like,
I keep calling him I keep wanting to call the son Kevin. His name is Ryan. So if I say Kevin, that's who I'm talking about.
He kind of looks like a Home Alone kid. That's probably
he looks like Kevin, bro. To me, he's a Kevin. But yeah, Homelander keeps trying to tell his son, "You're just like me. You're just like me." And his son's like, "I don't know, man. I don't think I."
It was like he doesn't necessarily care. Like he's just like, I mean, I'm living my life with my mom. Like I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, we're chilling. Oh, another thing in this episode, A-Train returns. A-Train is out of the coma and is coming to blackmail Starlight.
Before we even get to that, that the namesake of this episode is Girls Get It Done. We see Stormfront and Maeve and Starlight going on this press junket or whatever, where we see a lot of what Stormfront is like. I got this bad bitch mentality. Like, I don't care about nothing. Like, I'm going to say whatever I want, whatever I feel like.
But that goes when the A-Train comes in and like tries to pester Starlight, and then Starlight has this conversation with Stormfront, because I wrote that down. Where Stormfront's like, if you're trying to be this Vought spy, like fuck you, like I'm gonna do what I want. I'm Stormfront. I used to look up to what you did, but you sold out, bitch. Like and Starlight's like, you don't know me, you don't know my life story, you don't know what I've been through. And Stormfront's like, yeah, I do, Barbie. You're just some fucking knockoff shit. And so, like you said, it just shows more of Stormfront's personality. What else
and Maeve, like real quick with her, she goes off to see like her ex Flame, and we kind of establish that her biggest concern in life is like, I don't want Homelander to know about anyone in my life, because he'll kill him.
Yeah, he'll kill him because Homelander,
which is crazy.
Is crazy
because he's wild,
and he has like just moments where he has people that he can't let go of it out of his life. Speaking of that, he can't let go. Homelander's conversation with Butcher's wife. Butcher's wife goes to the people in charge at Vought in this like security thing. She's talking to the doctor, and the doctor's like, don't worry about it.
We see the big wall or whatever.
Yeah,
she's
actually
entrenched in like some
prison
camp or almost.
Yeah, it's like this made up neighborhood where everything's fake, and basically the doctor's like, don't worry, Homelander will get over it. She goes to the house after Homelander's putting him to sleep, and he's like, you think I'm going to be over it in a couple months? Nah, bitch, that's my fucking son. What you want to do? You want me to
tell him everything.
You want me to tell him that you're in a prison? You want me to tell him that y'all been living a lie? You want me to tell him that Burger King's not up in here? What you want to do? What do you want to do right now, bitch? He'll hate you, and I want him to hate you. And Butcher's wife can't do nothing but just rock out. Like, just gotta let it be. Can't do nothing. Homelander's crazy. So the next one I have is Kimiko. They confront her brother, and then they capture him. In Kimiko's conversation with her brother, the first and second, we find out that Kimiko can talk. We find out that they were exposed and got treated to Compound V. They tried to help their village, but they couldn't. And they got
Homelander came and killed the village.
Yeah, it killed their village. We found out that everybody got separated, and we just see that Kimiko has a little more to her. But we also find out that Kimiko's brother is the terrorist that they're looking for. Butcher wants to shoot him and kill him, and Huey's like, nah, that's Kimiko's brother. And Mother's Milk and Frenchie kind of support him in this. But Butcher hits Huey after Huey knocks away the shot. The guy, it leaves, and Butcher hits his ass, and it's like, damn, Butcher, you didn't have to hit him. Fuck. Yeah. And Huey gets hit, and that's pretty much how the episode is with that one.
Yeah,
but they have him captured, though. They have the guy captured.
Other things to mention in this episode, A-Train's still struggling with his repercussions of his addiction, and also going to the Deep storyline.
Oh, yeah,
the Deep
to talk about the Deep.
The Deep is with the Eagle. They're talking to the church lady or whatever. He takes the shrooms, and then Patton Oswalt plays his gills, and they have that whole conversation.
And the Deep's trying to accept himself. He's trying to. If this is out of all redemption arcs, this is a great redemption because we're seeing this character get taken down and rebuilt up. But is he going to get rebuilt up in a good image, or is he going to be in this image of the church?
I feel like he's really kind of. I feel like he's a little bit of the brainwash, but he's also like coming to grips with like why he was so shitty.
Yeah.
And like I feel like, him establishing like why he felt so inclined to like, be a rapist and shit like that.
Yeah.
Was explained in this. And also, since we're about to get into episode 3 and the Deep stuff is just very rare anyway. Like he even has like he's coming to grips with his gills and coming to accept it. And then there's a scene where Homelander's like, your gills are showing whatever. And I feel like he's like, fuck you, Homelander.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah,
I don't even care anymore.
I like my gills. Okay, so episode 3, Huey and the gang, they have the terrorist Kimiko's brother on this boat, and they're trying to take him to the CIA. Oh, well, we skipped something in episode 2. Butcher goes to meet Grace. Episode 2 was a lot of exposition. Grace from last season, and they make a deal to where if Butcher gives the terrorist, then she will give the location of his wife.
Yeah.
But he lies to the gang and says it'll be their freedom, which it's not really going to be. Mother's Milk may be able to see his family, but that's about it. Butcher's just a no good lying son of a bitch to the gang.
Pretty much.
And Grace even tells him like, damn, you don't really care about your team. She says that in episode 3, but that's just some small shit. All right, the episode starts off with Huey hitting the Butcher. Huey's like, nah, bitch, I'm getting at you. The world finds out about Compound V. Everybody finds out. It's huge.
Thanks to Starlight, because Gecko got her the Compound V.
But was it because of them, or was it another leak? I think it was another leak.
I think it might have been in the leak, but Starlight is like, I did tell someone, like, she does confirm like she did tell someone.
She thinks it's her. But I think it's either Giancarlo Esposito getting ahead of shit and dropping it himself, or someone inside that company leaked it. I don't know if it's Starlight and Huey, and they think it's them. We'll find out later, but I do not believe it's them. I do not believe that for a fact. But Compound V gets exploded out, and everybody's like, oh, shit, it wasn't by God. It was by these skeezy people doing all this shit. What? And Giancarlo Esposito denies everything. A-Train had a good conversation with Starlight when they find out like this. A-Train tells him, look, you can fuck with anything, but don't fuck with the money. And I just was like, yes, that was a good speech. He was like, don't fuck with the money because they're going to fuck you up. And they're going to fuck me up because I knew about it. A-Train's like trying to save his ass at this point. At this point, it's like no longer blackmail because Starlight was like, I'm going to tell your business, bitch. And A-Train's like, all right, well, I guess we in this together, but I'm going to just keep telling you what the fuck is going on. And your ass is fucking up right now. You're fucking up the money, and you're someone who came from money, so you don't understand. Once someone was hungry, gets money, they not letting it go. And that was an amazing conversation. What else we got? Oh, Ryan explodes, aka Kevin. So Homelander's hanging out with his
name is
son.
Ryan.
His fucking name is Kevin. Kevin's on the roof with Homelander. Homelander's like, jump, bro. You're good. You're my son. You can fly. We're gods. Like, you're the only person who can understand me. I'm the only person that can understand you. I'm trying to make my family. I'm trying to do this right. Little nigga gets slapped off the building. It's the ground. And I was just like, oh, shit. At first, I thought he was dead. I was like, oh,
Because
no.
like I was so convinced at this point. I'm like, dude, like, does he even have the powers? Because like, you know, we're finding out all this stuff with compound V, and I'm like, well, like if it's not like genetic or whatever, like, and he doesn't have any compound V, like, and he slaps that dude off the building. I'm like, what the hell?
He could have just took after his mom. Like he like that didn't cross Homelander's thought. It was just
And
like, nah,
I also had like in the back of my mind,
son.
I was like, maybe it is somehow Butcher's son, but it does. It is.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. So Kevin, his mom's like, Kevin, are you okay? Fuck
Ryan.
you, Homelander. Yeah, Ryan, are you okay? And Ryan gets up. Ryan's like, and Homelander's like, let him go. Let him go. And touches mom. Ryan's like, let go of my fucking mom. And his eyes are going red.
And he
it's
pushes
like
him.
It's like some Brightburn shit. And Homelander's like, ooh, I like this. All right, bet you do have powers. Told you so. And Ryan's like, I fucking hate you. You're not my dad. I hate you.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad. I'm nothing like you. Fuck you. I'm living with my mom. And then they walk off and slam the door. And Homelander's like, damn, I thought y'all was my family. But that leads him to go back to the 7 like, fuck Ryan. Homelander's just like, fuck him. Y'all are my family.
Fuck him. Y'all are my family. We gonna band together. And then everyone's just like, fuck this guy there.
Where have you been for the past 3 days? Oh shit.
You think Maeve's your friend, but she's scared of you.
Maeve don't fuck with you. Starlight definitely don't fuck with you. Stormwatch don't fuck with you at all. Only person that maybe fuck with you is A-Train and Black Noir. Maybe. But
maybe. And the Deep.
So he goes back, finds out about the whole Compound V shit, and is like, damn. Homelander says fuck Vought to the 7, and they're like, okay, we're going to get this terrorist. We're going to do our job. The 7 confront the Deep. I thought that was a big thing where all of them are.
Well, I mean, even the whole scene where, you know, Karen Fukuhara's brother takes down the helicopter, and I'm like, oh, well, all shit's about to break loose for sure. And then the Deep comes in, like, sends sharks and shit at them, and then they have to escape, and that's when we finally get the scene from the trailer.
Wait, pause. Kimiko's brother destroys the NYP helicopter. They escape. Huey's phone call with Starlight saying that she's the reason why he doesn't want to die. That's a big moment. It's
a big moment. I was like, this dude's a wuss.
Starlight's his second win. He's gonna be devastated when she doesn't want him.
Second win. Oh my god. I was like, get a grip on yourself, homie.
Watching that damn video every day.
Get a grip on yourself, dude. That was like the soberest, drunk, sad phone call to an ex ever.
You're my second win.
You're my second win, dude. I'm talking to her like she's a fart.
Oh shit. Yeah, big moment. So yeah, after the helicopter's destroyed, Grace is like, y'all gotta get out of there. People are coming. So the Deep sends all these sharks after them. They end up getting on the boat. They crash through a whale. Huey's like, I can't go on, Butcher.
He's like, I don't want
to. I can't do it. I have all this whale blood. And Mother's Milk like, bro, you coming? Or I'm not coming. We just both gonna get caught. And Huey's like, fuck it. I love you, Mother's Milk. Gotta go. And I think Mother's Milk's conversation with the Butcher is good to rebuild Huey's relationship because he's like, that's your canary.
That was Frenchie's.
No, that was Mother's Milk.
Okay.
Mother's Milk tells him about, like, that's your canary. You can't let Huey die because that shows how far you've gone to the bad side. You need the
canary to tell you how far you've gone.
Yeah, exactly.
With the analogy of the caves, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. So that was a big conversation. The 7 confront the Deep. Stormfront's like, let Starlight tell this fucker off. Fuck you, rapist, which is true. Like, get your shit off. And then Homelander's like, look, brother, we got all these women in here. It's going to be tough for you, but you keep working. We're going to bring you back. You stay out here. We're going to bring you back. I love you, the Deep, but we got to go. So then
Hydra Gills.
Yeah, Hydra Gills. So then the Starlight confronts Huey, shoots him because Homelander's watching in the back, and Homelander's like, this fucking guy again, kill him right now. Butcher saves him, says, hey, what's up, fucker? And he's like,
Kimiko's brother
William
saves him.
Kimiko's brother. Well, Butcher comes out. I believe it's Butcher's plan. He's like, and Homelander's like, William, good to see you. I just left your wife. And he's like, fuck you.
She makes good pancakes.
And then Kimiko's brother does his telekinesis, drops the building on him. Homelander's down. They save Huey. But as that happens, Stormfront comes in and hits the guy out of the building. Kimiko chases after him. And then Stormfront fights Kimiko and Kimiko's brother, whooping ass. Stormfront's just destroying property, killing black people. Like killing black people.
Let's
like,
be real.
Like,
let's call a spade a spade.
Busted in their house.
She's
and they were
busted
like,
in there.
what are you doing? And she's like, I don't give a fuck about you. Zap. Everybody in the way. Zap. Busting through shit. Just killing
dude walking
people.
down the stairs. Zap.
Get out of my fucking way. I'm
blowing up
Stormwatch.
floors.
I'm just busting people up with my Shazam powers. They go up to the top, and she's like, fuck you. Hits Kimiko to the side, rips off Kimiko's brother's hands, and was like, yeah, that's another dead yellow man. And I was like, whoa, Stormfront's a racist. And we find out that this lady, she's not. Look, I'm not going to even say she got racial tendencies. I'm going to just straight up, she might be a little racist. Like, straight up.
A little.
Yeah.
I haven't seen nothing that gives her any sort of inclination that she ain't just full blown.
Yeah, no, for sure. Stormfront is lying on the outside. So she ends up killing all those innocent people, kills that guy. But Kimiko escapes with the boys, and they hold this big press conference where Homelander's not in the front. Homelander didn't get the kill, so he doesn't get the press conference. Stormfront does. This is kind of what Giancarlo Esposito wants. Stormfront is brought up talking like, oh, I'm here to help all these beautiful people act when she actually caused all this damage. And Homelander's just looking at her with her speech like, this bitch gonna be a problem. Not only do I have to deal with Giancarlo, but I got to deal with this bitch. This is going to be an issue. So I wrote down Stormfront versus Homelander, Stormfront versus Kimiko, because both are just like giving her big eyes. And Karen Fukuhara's like, I'm going to kick this bitch's ass. Yeah, I'm going to kill this bitch. And Homelander's like, I'm going to have to kill this bitch. So Stormfront has bullseyes on her left and right. But that's pretty much all that happens, man. Yeah, I'm interested to see some of the potential battles. Homelander versus Giancarlo Esposito. Homelander versus Stormfront. Homelander versus Billy Butcher. We got the Starlight and Huey relationship. We got Kimiko versus Stormfront. We got what's going to happen with Maeve and her relationship. How does the CIA and Grayson Mallory tie up all these loose ends with the terrorists? A lot of questions that we got to ask. And then what's going to happen with Frenchies and Mother's Milk? How do they play into this season? What's up with the Deep in the church? Like, how does the church play into all of this? A lot of questions that need to be answered, but I'm excited. The Boys season 2, sure. After watching episode 3 and seeing, what was the last thing we saw? After that big Stormfront battle, it was just like, yo, I need more. And it's going to be once a week.
Yeah, the last thing we saw was Karen Fukuhara looking at the TV like, I'm going to kill this hoe.
Yeah, man. I need more. I need more from the Boys. But that was an amazing first 3 episodes. I cannot wait. We got it week to week, so it'll be 1 episode a week until the end where we get another 3 drops. So it's going to be a long season, but
not even to the end. It's just week to week the whole way. So September 11th, September 18th, September 25th, October 2nd, October 9th.
October 9th, they're not giving like 2? I thought they was doing like 2. Damn, all right, bet. Whatever. Sucks that the Boys are doing this, but I get it. Amazon's trying to maximize viewership and maximize people on their streaming service. I understand. And you can tell because they got the shit plastered everywhere on their home screen. So I get it.
And on IMDb, too.
Yeah, so I get it. But this season, incredible. Glad to have the Boys back. Some things that, like I tweeted, like I said, Kevin, a.k.a. Ryan, thought face. What's up with him? Stormfront, racist, but that's a bad SOB. Got to see what's up with her next season. Karen Fukuhara. She was the person who impressed me the most in these first 3 episodes, with Stormfront being second. I thought everything they did with Kimiko expanded her character from season 1, because in season 1 she just didn't talk and sat in the corner and just curled. But now
she was a mystery.
now she has personality. Now we know about her brother. We know about her backstory. I thought she had an impeccable performance. I thought Homelander was phenomenal. Everything with him was great. I thought Giancarlo had intrigue, but I need more from him. I thought Billy Butcher was as great as he was. I need more from him as well. I thought he did a good job just getting back into the swing of things. But the stars for me of these first 3 is Karen Fukuhara number 1, Stormfront number 2, and Homelander number 3.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd even throw a little bit of Billy Butcher in there just because he's just a badass.
He killed it. I just need more. I just need something. I just need a little more, because I know he's gonna have an episode later where it touches me and it's like, damn, Billy killed it. But out of this, it was just like he wasn't the forefront.
Like, for some reason, I feel like he's gonna have like some kind of confrontation with Homelander, but I just don't know how that's gonna work because he has no powers. So it's just like,
yeah, they might give him compound V though.
Maybe.
I feel like at some point one of them's gonna take it, whether it's Huey or
not Huey.
Somebody's gonna get it.
I'd say it got to be the Butcher.
It's gonna either be Butcher or Huey, because Mother's Milk and Frenchie aren't gonna get it. No. So it's gonna be one of them. We're gonna see how that goes, but very, very good season. Let's jump to the best movie of the year. Let's jump to the best movie of the year.
And how do you even tackle talking about this? Because I wouldn't say it's a giant mind fuck, but
full
it's definitely
spoilers.
But it's definitely I can see where people could find it a little bit hard to follow at times, like especially near the end. And it does fire quickly. Like, I will say, like, once the movie starts, it's like, okay, bam, 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 bam.
You got to pay attention. Like, I'm sorry.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Don't go to the bathroom. Pay attention, because I followed the movie.
Don't look at your
phone. Yeah, pay the fuck attention. Now, granted, my one complaint, but me and my girlfriend realized it's because the movie is inverted. The sound is messed up in some parts to where you don't understand. But I think that's done intentionally. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. This movie was great to me. Just looking at from just the outside perspectives of it before we talk about the movie itself, I think this movie is one of Christopher Nolan's best. I think it's better than Dunkirk. I like it more than Inception. I like it, honestly, more than Interstellar. I think this movie is in the echelon of Christopher Nolan movies like The Dark Knight, The Prestige, and Memento. I think those 3, along with Tenet, are his 4 best movies. And then under that, you can start talking about Interstellar, Inception, and whatever else you want to throw. But this movie takes everything he's learned from time displacement and linear storytelling, from which we saw in Memento and Inception. It takes that and kind of tightens it. It takes the action directing that he learned from doing comic book films, and it tightens it. Honestly, some of the scenes in here were better than the Dark Knight action scenes.
I told you straight up, the kitchen fight scene that he does felt very Batman-esque, even with the movements that JDW was putting on.
The opening scene with you know how the Batman starts with a robbery? This kind of almost is very similar to that opening scene, but it's more bombastic. It's more huge. It's more blockbuster cinema. It's just what he does in this movie. He takes everything he's learned and he maximizes it to its fullest degree. He cranks the knob to 10, and we don't leave 10. We never turn it down to 9. We never turn it down below 10. It's at 10 the whole time. To understand this story, we have to say 2 things. This movie is told in a non-linear function. From what we see, we go from point A to point B, but inside on the way from point A to point B, things happen that have already happened by the time we see them. They've happened already, but we don't get to know they've happened until we get to the end. That's part 1. The entire story the mission is on is told from our perspective from start to finish. However, when we get to the end, we find out that this mission starts John David Washington on his overall mission, thus getting him to start the mission that he just did. So without John David Washington going through all of this, he would not find out his place in the world, thus sending him back in time to make sure he was able to do everything he just did. So those are two things we gotta set up from jump, showing that he's not telling a linear story. It's this chunk in a circle around this chunk. None of that's linear. So I hope that didn't take you out of it. Are you with me still?
Oh, I'm with you. I know exactly what you're talking about, but
I just
hopefully the listeners are with you, because I mean that explains pretty much like what the whole scenario of thing is. It's you go through the earlier scenes and like things happen. You're like, okay, well, this and this, and then like once you get to the end, you're like, oh well, now I've seen it all happen.
because
And the stuff that happens in the end was what happened in the beginning, and it's just like you back and forth.
And the reason why is because of time travel. This movie on the outset is a spy movie that utilizes time travel as the main power. So the movie starts off, we get the opening badass scene where John David Washington is trying to get some information from this guy and extract someone from this robbery gone bad. The robbers end up capturing him. He ends up taking a cyanide pill, and we think he's dead. The movie starts Tenet. But turns out that the CIA doesn't give their operative cyanide pills. No, they give them coma pills that put them in a coma that makes the people think that they're dead. Thus, the CIA can reclaim them wake up. John David Washington is no longer a part of the CIA. He operates on an outside plane because he's dead. He works on kind of his own accord, but still for the mission. He gets one word, Tenet, and he gets told to go look for that. He ends up going to this lady who explains to him what it is and about inversion and everything.
This is where it kind of felt like James Bond to me, where it was like,
yeah, he went to go meet Q.
Went to go meet Q, and learn about what all he needs to know, and like how to catch inverted bullets and what inversion is, and all of that.
Just giving him his layout for what he needs to do. So he learns that I'm not about to explain inversion, but it's time travel. You go back and you can be normal, but inversion, when you travel back, you are inverted and you have to wear this mask. If not, you can't breathe. I'm not explaining inversion. Yeah, and just go fucking watch it.
Well, another thing about it is like inversion is something that someone created way into the future, but it's
sent back through time travel.
Has been sent back through time because of inversion. It's just like,
yeah, that
at first you're just like, what the heck? I mean, like,
you just got to accept it. It's one of those things in a movie where you just accept it. It's just the laws of the movie. Don't question it. So
the next thing, I guess, you get him and Arpat meeting.
Yeah, he goes meet Neil for the first time, who is his liaison to get him to India. We end up getting that badass bungee scene where they run up of the building to go meet the arms dealer of India. He thinks it's this man, but it turns out it's this woman. The woman tells him, they discuss Tenet and everything. They talk about how it's the next world power. We find out that the lady's bringing it back in time, and there's this one guy who knows what it is, whatever, and he's trying to get a meet with him, and she's like, you can't get a meet with him directly, but you can maybe try through his wife, thus meeting, I think her name is Catherine Denbecky. I think that's her name. What's the actress's name? Or Katie Denbecky? I think that's her name.
Yeah, I'm about to find out. But yeah, so it's Kenneth Branagh's wife.
Yeah, it's Kenneth Branagh.
Who is
Elizabeth Debicki. That's what it is.
Yeah, played by Elizabeth Debicki. Her name is Kat in the movie.
Okay. In the movie. So he's going to see Elizabeth Debicki. We find out that Elizabeth Debicki is held hostage by this big time boss CEO of the world, and because she tried to sell him a photo that was fake, and then she was going to keep the real one to maybe barter to get her son back, but the man found out all of this and was holding her son hostage and was like, if you want to see him, you better do what I say. And then so John David Washington's learning all this, and Kenneth Branagh sends his men's after him. We get the badass fight scene in the kitchen where John David Washington beats his ass. Debicki is like, oh shit, he whoops his ass. Elizabeth Debicki's like, oh damn, okay, bet. This guy's actually about his business. She sets up a meet for she tells him to go steal the painting from the husband's bunker. Neil, a.k.a. Rob Pat, and John David Washington set up a plan to go steal it. The plan goes awry when these guys come in and mess up everything, and like there's explosions and the room doesn't.
That's where you get the scene from the trailer where he's like, "Yeah, I want to hijack a plane, but
Yeah.
it's not like what you think."
Yeah,
And so
exactly. And
like
that's
they
where you
end
get the
up
scene with the bullets in the wall, and it's like, oh shit, it hasn't happened yet. Inversion. So that's where we meet some of our first inverted fights, where John David Washington's fighting these inverted people who, at the time, it seems like they're trying to stop them. But when we get to the end, it'll mean something else. But just remember that this happens. They fail in getting the picture, but the fact that they did this gets the attention of Kenneth Branagh, who wants to meet with John David Washington. John David Washington then meets with him. He wants to kill him at first, but then he tells him about how he can get him plutonium, and thus they go on this boat, have this boat day with Catherine DeBecky and them, and it's like tension because John David Washington wants to bang her, or at least she wants to bang him, and then Kenneth Branagh is
and
like,
he's also
no
like,
one can have my wife.
and he also gets caught like trying to spy on them, what they're doing or whatever. And
Yeah,
that's
and they
kind
beat
of
his
like
ass, and they're like, "Don't drop the plutonium here. You better not fuck it up." So Neil and him go try to steal the plutonium. Turns out it's not really plutonium; it's some other shit for the inversion bomb.
and that's where you get the whole car sequence, which was highly put into the trailers and was a very, very cool scene.
Yep, and
Where like they're doing their thing or whatever in like normal time, and then they see like the flipped car, and they're like, "Oh, well, here comes inversion shit."
yeah, it
And
starts just
so
fucking with them. They Kenneth Branagh ends up taking the package from them because he threatens to kill Catherine DeBicky, and he gives it up, and Neil's like, "Fuck, that wasn't plutonium. You gave him what he needed." He's like, "Fuck this." He goes to try to save him, but then he gets captured. Kenneth Branagh is like holding him hostage, like, "I'ma kill this bitch if you don't tell me what you know." And he's like, "I don't know what, blah 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 blah." He ends up shooting her, but he tells her like somewhere. He tells him some fake place. He shoots her anyway. Kenneth Branagh goes back in time to go try to go to the place where he told them the artifact was. All of a sudden, Aaron Taylor Johnson appears with Robert Pattinson, and they're like, "Yo, we've been working on this. Don't worry about it." And John David Washington's like, "You been knowing about this bitch? What the fuck? Why did
like,
you
who
tell
are
me?"
you?
And Neil's like, "Don't worry about it. I can't tell you, bro. Like, trust me. I got your best interest at heart." And that's all Neil can say.
And
He was
then
like, "I'll
they go
tell
and
you
do
after."
the
Yeah,
inversion machine or whatever, and go through that whole deal.
to
And
save Catherine DeBicky, and they end up saving her. But in the process of saving her, we find out that earlier scene where they were going to steal the painting, it was them going there to save Catherine DeBicky, and John David Washington ends up fighting himself, and
Neil, who finds out
Neil, that it was John David Washington going back in time. We think that this is Neil's first time seeing him doing this. We come to find out later that wasn't, but Neil knew that they went back in time. Thus, he let them go. So that's something. John David Washington almost killed himself, and he realizes, damn, I almost killed myself. Crazy. So they end up saving Catherine DeBicky, and they end up having a plan because they find out that Kenneth Branagh is trying to kill himself, thus stopping the world and thus causing this inversion bomb to go off, thus ending reality because he has pancreatic cancer, and if he's going to die, he's going to take everybody else out with him. And the mission is to stop him from dropping this bomb in a cavern, thus setting off the inversion. Aaron Taylor Johnson has a squad. Robert Pattinson has a squad, but inside of Aaron Taylor Johnson,
one's not inverted.
Yeah, one is just going back in time. The other one is going back in time through inversion. John David Washington and Aaron Taylor Johnson have like the Splinter Cell mission to go stop the bomb person. They're going in there, fighting them, kicking ass. But Robert Pattinson has to save him from inversion, thus ending his life, because if he didn't save them, the world would have ended, and Catherine DeBicky got back at Kenneth Branagh, shot him. Movie ends pretty much with the final scene where they're going out, they have the artifacts, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's like, "If I see any of y'all again, I'm going to kill y'all." And Robert Pattinson's like, "Look, bro, you take this. I got to go make sure all this inversion shit happens the right way so none of us die." But John David Washington's like, "But bro, if you do that, you're going to die, and I'll never get to see you again, and you never told me who you work for." And then Neil tells him, "Well, I worked for you." And he was like, "Wait, what?" You end up going back in time to start the mission. You're the guy who sent me to find you. And we have a bunch more missions in the past because you have to become the person that sent me But for that to happen, you have to go back in time and do more missions to set this up to where this can take place. So this mission can take place. And he's like, what? We got more missions? Me and you, Neil? And it's like, yes, give me more Tenet. So he goes back in time. Well, no, he's in the future now or whatever. And the Indian lady is trying to go kill Elizabeth Debicki to tie up all the loose ends. And Elizabeth Debicki calls John David Washington. John David Washington is at the scene. He ends up killing the Indian lady, but he can't get with Elizabeth Debicki because love is not in his cards. He has a job to do to go find Neil in the past and to set him on their missions to stop these artifacts from coming into the hands of certain individuals. That's pretty much the best, 2-minute synopsis someone could give.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to.
And there's so much stuff that happens inside of that.
Yes,
the airplane scene for the first time going through is amazing, but the airplane scene through the inversion side of things is just as crazy, if not crazier. Exactly. The kitchen scene that you talked about, it was a great one that I liked. The bungee jump scene where when they got slingshot in the air, I was like, yo. No, I don't know if I could go through this. And then they just drop. I was like, both you niggas Batman? Like, what are we doing? Like, y'all all just doing Batman shit.
Yeah, for real. I mean, if anyone had questions about Robert Pattinson as what he is as an actor, like, this is the movie that you got to see, because not a lot of people have seen Good Time, but this is like, his role of showing that I'm a serious actor, take me seriously. John David Washington, very similar. Black Klansman was a big time movie, but this is even bigger.
This shows he can not only do indies but blockbusters, and he's a
leading
man.
I feel like this really highlighted a bunch of actors and actresses that we have seen in other things before. Like Himesh Patel has small-ish, big-ish role in this.
I like Catherine Debicki.
Elizabeth Debicki. We've known her from she played in The Great Gatsby and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
And the crazy thing is, as much as I love Robert Pattinson and John David Washington, if you ask me who won this movie, I want to say John David, but a part of me wants to say Kenneth Branagh. This was Kenneth Branagh's best performance I think I've seen.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what Kenneth Branagh has put out a lot has been a lot of like.
What you gonna say, cheese?
I wouldn't say cheese necessarily, because I mean, I feel like his role in Harry Potter is good because he plays the character to a T as it is represented in the book. Mm-hmm. But it is very cheesy of a character, and then you got his character in like the Orient Express stuff, which is like complete cheese ball.
And in Thor, cheesy.
Yes. But I just don't want to like hate on him too much because like
he's a good actor.
He is a good actor. I mean, I love him in Wild Wild West, which I guess a lot of people would say is cheesy.
He was good in
I
Dunkirk.
love him in Much Ado About Nothing. He's great in Dunkirk. He was good in Valkyrie.
Different. This is something different. They give him. I feel like this is probably the most meat on the bones that he's gotten to act. Like I feel like this was the most he could sink his teeth into. Man, it was just he killed it. He was so menacing and vicious in this movie. It was great. But John David Washington killed it. Robert Pattinson killed it. Who won the movie? I'm gonna go with John David, but Kenneth Branagh, close second. Someone could say Christopher Nolan won by doing a James Bond that's not in the James Bond universe, doing his own, where he set it up to where we could get more stories with the protagonist, aka John David Washington. We definitely should. Like, he should definitely make a 10 and 2. I don't know if that's going to be his next movie, but I want a 10 and 2 before John David Washington gets too old to do this.
Out of anything he's done that's not Batman, like I feel like this is one that's most deserving of a sequel.
Yep.
And like obviously they opened it up for that.
I don't think he puts that line in there without knowing that he wants to do another one of these.
And I feel like this could be really great for JDW's career. Like this is a solid character that he's created. This is
it's a blockbuster.
Your spy sci-fi.
It's a blockbuster event film, but at the same time, it's a prestige film because he's with this big name director.
Thinking about how we're gonna view this movie in a year that's been very crazy for movies. I mean, this could be the one that wins all the awards.
And we talked about this off air. I could see Nolan winning Best Picture or Director, but I don't see Robert Pattinson or John David Washington winning for Best Actor or Supporting. The one that I do see winning is Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah. Kenneth Branagh has a shot at
Now,
it
I
for
could
sure.
see John David being nominated, but I don't think he wins for this.
No, it's hard to tell at the moment like who would win for that because we got to see some more acting performances.
Yeah.
And I do feel like some of the acting that was done in The Gentleman was pretty great, but that's another supporting thing again, where I feel like Colin Farrell did like a terrific supporting job, and I wouldn't give Matthew McConaughey an Oscar.
No,
so
not for that. I mean, and that's my thing. I can't give it to Robert, and I can't give it to John. Kenneth is the one who might get it because he actually, whereas John and Robert relied more on their physical acting and their action, Kenneth was all just imposing and making you believe it. He didn't have much physical action. He was actually acting. Not saying that the other two weren't, because they 1,000% were, but it was just different. Also, we got the little Michael Caine shout out in the beginning. Yeah. Michael Caine has to be in a Christopher Nolan movie. Loved it. He's basically just Alfred, but just giving out the mission.
Pretty much.
One of his meet-alongs.
I feel like, this movie, once people get a chance to see it, and I hope people do, while it's still in theaters, I hope that what the theaters do is they almost keep it around, do showings for it almost all year.
Yeah.
Because, not a lot of people are going to get around to seeing it right away.
I'm going to see it again this week. I got to. I wanted to see it again before we did this pod, but there was just no way I got with everything we had to watch. But I'm going to see it again. I have to. My girlfriend was like, why would you go see that long of a movie again? I was like, because there's so much more I could take from it that I missed.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you go through it, you're like,
and I thought I followed it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, when I got out of it, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I even caught all of it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I know there's stuff that I missed, and I thought I followed it pretty well. So I definitely want to go see it again. The moment where early in the movie when Elizabeth Debicki's talking about how much she hates her husband, and she's leaving on a boat, and she sees a woman dive off, and she's like, this scoundrel had a woman on the boat the whole time cheating on me, and that led
and also jealous of her and her freedom.
It turns out that woman was her after she killed her husband. Crazy shit. It's just there's so much little shit that happen. Everything that happens in the beginning happens for a purpose, and it comes back in somewhere or another in the end.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was like a godsend in a year where we hadn't had a lot of movies, and I mean, it's when we're thinking about the overall rating of this, it's as close to a 10 as we can possibly get.
Yeah, man, it's high.
It's high. It's I would put it at a 9.5 if I'm being generous, of just not trying to oversell it.
That's my thing. It's I don't want to overhype it, but at the same time, it has to be overhyped because it's so good. But also, I don't want to, and that's why I'm glad I went and see New Mutants, because if this would have been the first movie I saw out of theaters, I might have been like, Jesus, this is the best movie fucking ever. But because I already had that movie theater experience, it was kind of tapered. But seeing a movie like this in theaters, I needed this, because this was an amazing movie that in a time where you don't get to go to movies, it was just needed. There's no way you give this movie anything under a 9.5. 9.5 is the lowest I can go. I really want to go 9.8, but I need to see it again though. So I'm gonna just go 9.5 for now. But this movie's anywhere from a 9.5 to a 10.
One of the things we talk about whenever we're rating these things is a rewatchability factor, and you're mentioning right now how you really want to see it again. It's one that I also really want to see again, and more so than a movie that Christopher Nolan's done, like Interstellar. I feel like it's a movie that I can revisit over and over again.
But I think it's due to the fact where Interstellar has a lot of lull points and a lot of talking, where this is just go, 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 go constantly. You have some slow points, but he keeps majority of the slow points in this movie in the beginning where he has to explain things. Once he's done explaining, it's just pedal to the metal.
Pretty much. And I mean, even the explaining, it goes pretty fast paced.
Yep.
So
there's to me, There's no low points once you meet Robert Pattinson. The only one I can say is after they steal the plutonium and when he's about to get captured by Kenneth Branagh. But even then, that's very, very important. Maybe some of the boat stuff, but I thought the boats, like when the first time he meets Kenneth Branagh, you could maybe say that's slow, but that's being nitpicky.
Still pretty intense.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, like we got this rated pretty high. I mean, it's one of those things where you got to see it in a movie
Theaters, yeah, you
theater.
do. I understand why they didn't want to put it on VOD. I needed to see this in theaters with the theater sound. Like watching this for the first time at my house, I don't know if it would have impacted me as hard.
Yeah, one thing I will mention, you mentioned like the sound, and
Subtitles would have helped though at my house.
And the kind of tying this into all the things we watched. One thing I liked about Lovecraft Country this week is they had like all these like hip hop element songs that like got me hyped for certain things. Like I feel like hip hop is almost the vibe of like Christina Braithwaite.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, bitch better have my money.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like that stuff kind of got me hyped. But
I like
with
Travis
Tenet,
Scott had a tenant. I like that Travis Scott had a tenant with the song.
Yes,
I thought that was
song at the end was hype. Like I listened to it on the way home. I was like, ooh, that song is dope. Travis Scott.
John David's about to go on another mission. Okay, let's go. I'm ready. The new James Bond.
But when it comes to Tenet, I feel like they're not going to win any awards for sound or anything like that.
Ludwig Göransson did his shit.
But I think they should be considered because it was scored really well. They didn't have any sort of musical elements. Like even in a James Bond, you have like
the theme.
Well, even like pop songs or like songs that are like come into
the
it
Bond
and like
song, yeah.
The Bond song stuff. Like, but this was just like wah, 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 wah. Like it's just like all these like sound effects and noises that like
Ludwig Göransson, man,
intensity.
The Mandalorian's composer.
Yeah, which also
The Mandalorian and Creed. Oh, I meant to say this. This movie, speaking of The Mandalorian, I know this movie is a spy thriller with sci-fi, but I'd be remiss to not see this movie's a Western. At its core, this movie is influenced by Sergio Leone's Man with No Name trilogy. That's why I think we're going to get more, because it's going to be more adventures of the man with no name, a.k.a. the protagonist. And at the end, he even paid homage to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with our Mexican standoff between Aaron Taylor Johnson, Robert Pattinson, and John David Washington. Granted, it was a happy standoff, but it was a standoff nonetheless. And you look at it, this was an adventure to where at its core, he was trying to save the day, but at its core, he was trying to save the damsel in distress from the evil tyrant of her husband, which happens in Sergio Leone's movies. So it's just very interesting. I think he picks and chooses from the different Fistful of Dollars, a few dollars more in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think he pulls from all three of those. But to me, yes, this is a spy movie, but I think it's a Western in disguise as a spy movie, because there's no way you can't tell me the protagonist is not inspired by the man with no name.
Definitely. And, like we said before, like, I think this is really going to start off this John David Washington career. Like, you talked about how he did his stuff in Ballers, and, we've mentioned him as like the up and coming guys, and how he's trying to get out of the shadow of his father and be his own actor. I feel like this was it. Like, I feel like this was it. Like, Black Klansman was the introduction, and we're like,
I don't see him as Denzel's son anymore. I see him as John David.
Even when I look at him, I'm just like, I don't even see like Denzel when I look at him. Like,
nope.
I see John David Washington. So like,
he's my favorite actor right now. Him and Robert Pattinson. I told you,
stepped out of that shadow.
Literally, as soon as we left the movie, I was like, these two dudes are my favorite. Like, Adam Driver's a third. Like, Adam Driver got knocked down to 3 because of these two guys. I love it. This is my James Bond franchise. Honestly, he can give me however many more movies they want to give me in this world with the protagonist. Granted, I hope it's only 3 total. Tenet 1, 2, and 3, to where it stays true to how The Man with No Name was only 3 movies. I think because I feel that this is a Western at its core, I feel like it shouldn't be more than 3. But I'm here for all 3 of them. I'm ready for the next 2.
Now, I really think that they should go ahead and make some stamps on that. Be like, okay, we are going to do another one. Like, I feel like they should just go ahead and say that now. And like the one thing I feel like was worth noting because we put such high reviews. The reviews I'm seeing like on the internet are not as strong, which I feel like is just like hate or something like that. But I mean, like
See, some
they
people,
gave it like IMDb gives it 7.9, which I round up to 8, and then Metascore has it at 70.
some
And I'm
people,
just like,
I hate the argument of they don't understand it. I don't understand how you don't understand this movie. Like, what do you want to understand? How inversion works? Like, you're not like that. That's expecting too much to understand how that works. But people said they don't understand the flow of the movie, and I'm like, are we
I feel like it
sure?
flows pretty obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel
I
like they
mean,
were just hating.
you know, you could talk about like any other movie that shows you the end in the beginning and then ties it back in at the
Shit.
end. I mean,
Roger
it's just the
Ebert's
same as
website.
anything like that.
I trust Ebert, even though Ebert's not writing anymore. Rest in peace. It's his website and the people that work for him. But Roger Ebert and them gave it a 3 out of 4, and that's good. That's good for Ebert. That's huge. So like, I'm trusting Ebert. Some other people that I respect gave it high scores, but like, to me, I feel like there was this hate for this movie that Christopher Nolan was trying to make people go to the movies during COVID, and I feel like that's some of the reason
Yeah,
why I got bad reviews. Especially when you have
yeah.
people like Scott Derrickson coming out like, don't go support this movie, don't go watch it. It's like, bro, like I said last week, if people are going out to eat, you're not gonna stop me from going to see a fucking movie. Especially since the movie when this time they had people in it, Schubert, we were separated by 3 to 4 seats. Like, I was
I mean, there
nowhere
was
near
like
anybody.
I was in a giant theater and there was like 7 people in there. So
I was nowhere near anybody. Me and my girlfriend sat comfortably, and then they cleaned it immediately after. So like, a lot of people are just hating on this movie, but I think
and
this
Scott
movie
Derrickson, no one wants to see your shit anyway.
exactly. I think in a couple of years, once all the COVID dust settles, I think this movie will be remembered as Christopher Nolan's most underrated film. When it's interesting because it's one of his best, but it's going to be considered underrated because not a lot of people saw it. It was during the time of COVID. It got a lot of it got a lot of medium to high reviews, between lukewarm to warm. And then I think once people sit with it and get to understand it, and we maybe get the next one, it's going to be like, whoa, this was one of his best movies.
I mean, I'm looking at his catalog right now of director. I mean, Memento I haven't seen, so I can't really base anything off
That's
that. And
high for me. You don't
Prestige
get
I have.
you don't get this movie without Memento. That's where he starts his non-linear storytelling.
But I mean, like,
It's Memento and Dark Knight. Those are the only ones that I have above this movie.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So I mean, like, and I feel like Christopher Nolan is one of the event guys right now too. Like, he's the guy that, you know, Christopher Nolan's putting out a movie. I gotta go see that one. You know.
It's him, Tarantino, Scorsese, and I think Denis Villeneuve after Dune will be in that list.
Yeah.
Even though
I mean,
I put
there's some guys that you can throw in there in an argument, but I mean, like, then you look in their catalog and you're like, oh, well, they have put up some stinkers. Like, when you look at Nolan's catalog, for the most part, like, everything he's put out has been pretty
and
solid.
that's why you say he's with Tarantino and Scorsese, because it's like those dudes don't miss. And that same thing with Villeneuve. Villeneuve hasn't missed yet, in my opinion. If you look at Villeneuve's category or catalog, just since we're talking about this right now, Villeneuve goes. Hold on, let me just pull this up,
I'm
because
pulling it up.
I think he's an interesting case study of like director, because I feel like we're in the Villeneuve Nolan era. Like, I feel like that's the era we're in. So Villeneuve has Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Sicario, Prisoners, Enemy, and some earlier French films. But when he comes to America, he goes Enemy, or he goes Enemy, Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner, and then Dune. Those are so many films back to back with no misses. And
I'll give you that.
and look, Enemy is probably the weakest one, but that was him getting to know himself. Prisoners, phenomenal with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. Sicario, phenomenal and incredible. Arrival, phenomenal and incredible. And then Blade Runner. Like, it's Villeneuve and Nolan's era right now. Those are the two best acted. Like, and obviously Tarantino and Scorsese are putting out movies, but for like an era, this is their era.
So I went and looked up just a list just because I was just wanting to think what other people were saying. And like the top 10 of this list that I have right now is Guillermo del Toro, which I can think that he's kind of up there at the moment. The guy who did The Revenant, I can't really pronounce his name, in Inarritu. David Fincher, but I
Fincher's
feel
up
like
there.
David Fincher,
Fincher's moved to TV.
yeah, he's moved to TV, and I feel like a lot of like his great stuff was earlier. Because like, what was his most recent movie that he directed?
It was
Gone Girl,
that was amazing. that was
which was really good. I mean, so you had Gone Girl, and then you had
The Social Network,
The Social Network, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
and all of those
which
are
was
hits.
probably the better of the other one.
And that's what I'm saying. Fincher hasn't put out a movie since then. He's in TV right now.
And then they have Denis Villeneuve, then they have Scorsese, then they have Alfonso Cuarón, which you could I feel like they rate him a little bit higher. Maybe that's just based on Roma.
Horror films they're fans of.
But he did do the best Harry Potter, so I'll give him that one. But I didn't like Gravity that much. I didn't put Gravity really high.
Fucking hate Gravity.
Then they have Richard Linklater, who did Boyhood. What other director credits do you have?
That's not really our type of,
Before Midnight, Before Sunset. That genre.
Of course,
Suburbia.
they have the Coen brothers.
They don't have the Coen brothers on this list necessarily, but I do believe that they could be thrown up in there. They don't even have the Coen brothers like in the top 25.
Do they have Paul Thomas Anderson?
No, not in the top 10. But the other three that were in the top 10 are Spielberg, Tarantino, and Nolan. Nolan number 1.
Okay, interesting. They don't have Paul Thomas Anderson. He's like a not an event film guy, but he's more of like a prestige like indie film guy. But yeah, man, this is the Nolan Villeneuve era, and this movie solidifies that Nolan should have got Bond. They should have gave him Bond, and they chose not to. I think Nolan would have made an incredible Bond, but I'm glad he didn't get Bond, so we got this. This reminds me of Tarantino not getting one of those martial art films and then him making Kill Bill, turn it into what he wanted. This is Nolan not getting James Bond and people said him not getting Bond gave us Dark Knight, which is true in Batman. That is very much true, but this more so than anything is like, okay, I didn't get Bond, so I made my own spy film, which I think is better than Bond.
Here I find a list that has Paul Thomas Anderson in the top 10. But yeah, that's just another thing.
So,
and the Coen brothers.
Solid week, man. Solid week this week.
Yeah, it was a solid week. We had a lot of stuff to go over. It's not going to be so much the case in the following weeks, mainly because we had 3 episodes of The Boys to go over in one episode.
Yeah, we'll have The Boys, Lovecraft,
we'll have one episode of The Boys, one episode of Lovecraft. We'll get into the Avatars. The issue is that we're not going to get a lot of movies at the moment, which, like I said earlier on in the episode, like, come on, studios, let's start putting these things out. Because
we could probably review Bill and Ted.
Oh, I'm not going to go to the theater to watch it.
Oh, no, we can watch it at home. But that gives us time to do some run it backs, which now that the show is over, we got to run it back. Are we dropping that this week? Isn't that dropping this week?
Well, I don't know if we're dropping it this week. I know that we're recording it this week.
So then, it's either coming this week or early next. Yeah. The next Run It Back, we're reviewing Pulp Fiction. Myself, Schubert, and Ian Hawley, our editor, will be reviewing Pulp Fiction. Super, super excited about that. It's talking about non-linear storytelling. If Christopher Nolan has taken the baton, he's taken it from one Quentin Tarantino, and this is one of his earlier adaptions of non-linear storytelling. So I'm excited for that. But you can find out all the information on that and more at Bros Who Think on Twitter or www.broswhothink.com. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube. We got a lot of YouTube content coming. You can follow me at LinBWT. Be sure this upcoming Thursday to check out the most recent episode of the Bros Who Think podcast. And if you're an anime fan, we got a lot of anime content on the YouTube this week as well. But other than that, I'm excited, man. This was the week we've been waiting for, and I think it lived up to the hype 10 times fold. Like, I think to say how excited I was for Tenet and to say how it could have failed and to say how it had so much expectations and to say it lived up to the expectations, if not maybe punched through them, that's incredible. And to say how how high I held The Boys in expectations. And after seeing Umbrella Academy, I was like, will The Boys be better than season 1? Or was season 1 like kind of them shooting their load? No, they burst through that ceiling as well. Both outlived their expectations. So this was a great
the
week for me.
the boys have cemented their slot as the Friday show to watch now, as Lovecraft has cemented their spot that they're the Sunday night show to watch. So we're going to continue to talk about those two shows because they're the event TV shows at the moment. And Tenet is the film to see for anyone who enjoys movies. If you know, I'm not telling anyone that they should go risk their health or anything, but like if you feel like you can go to a movie theater, you have to
Look, we
go
both
see this
said it.
movie.
I'll say it. We both said it in our group chat after. We were like, look, if we caught Corona after seeing Tenet, then like it might have been worth it. Like, like that movie was that good. Not like you said, not telling you to go risk your health, but like that movie was incredible.
But if you feel comfortable in your theater, because a lot, the theaters are working really hard. I chatted up some people at the movie theater, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, we're doing what we can. They're opening later, doing less showings, spreading it out. I'd
keeping
say,
people out of there. So like, they're doing their best.
Buy your tickets beforehand. Don't deal with all that. Bring your, maybe sneak your snacks. Don't. I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you. But go in and check out Tenet because it's gonna be worth it.
It is great.
But that ends up everything going for the week. Lyndon, you plugged everything you do. Did you give your social media?
I gave everything. I'm good to go, brother.
All right. Well, you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at AShuber14 and check out everything going on with the network. Go on Netflix and all the other streaming sites. Check out all the stuff we've got going on that we've talked about in the previous episodes. And make sure you watch out for the Run It Back we have coming up for Pulp Fiction, and go check out, if you haven't already, the one we did about Goodfellas. So for Lyndon Burton, my name is Adam Schubert. This is the 101st episode of the Bros Who Binge podcast. Thank you for listening. And as always, stay safe out there and keep binging.